Hey friends, welcome back to I guess what would be part 2 of our budget used build series to kind of find out what can we do with a limited budget here in South Africa when it comes to used gaming PCs. You might remember that we did one with Zach's Tech Turf about a month and a half ago. This is the $300 build that we did. I believe it has like an i5 3490S, GTX 970, and a 500 gig hard drive with it had 4 gigs of RAM at the time. I've upgraded it to 8 gigs of RAM since then. Already did a follow-up video to that, which you can check out all of that in the top right-hand corner of the video. Today, I tried to challenge myself to do $200, and so we have this little Acer system right here with a little, it's missing a leg, so it's a little wobbly, but we'll talk about everything that went into this $200 build and what exactly we got, its performance and all that kind of stuff after I tell you about today's video sponsor. Today's video is actually brought to you by Wix, and we'll talk a lot more about them at the end of the video, but big thanks to Wix for sponsoring this video. You guys can check them out at the link in the video description, wix.com/go/UFDtech. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the $200 build. As you can see with the $300 build, in order to fit this GTX 970, we had to do some modifications, and the $200 build is no different. So what you see right here, my friends, is actually the completed product. This took us quite a while. So what we have going on here, we have this VS450 power supply, cheapest one I could find. It costs about 500 Rand, which is give or take $35. This entire system, this Acer Veriton without the graphics card, cost me 650 Rand. That is $45. What I got for that $45 was a first gen Core i5 processor, the 650. I also got 8 gigs of RAM, 2x4 there. I also got this 500 gig Western Digital WD Blue hard drive, as well as the case and a cheap little power supply that I already got rid of. So that's actually not too bad for $45. The only issue is that it's a dual core with 4 threads. Yes, it goes up to 3.3 gigahertz, and yes, it has 8 gigs of RAM, but CPU bottlenecks are real, fam. So let's just take into account the fact that I got this entire system for 650 Rand. You add in that 500 Rand power supply, that puts us at 1,150 Rand for the budget right now, excluding the graphics card, which is give or take about $75. $75, that means I had $125 to spend on a graphics card. That is where this Asus Strix GTX 970 came into play. I picked this up for the same price as I got the Hall of Fame 970, so 1,600 Rand. So that rounds out this entire build to, I think, what would put it at 2,750 Rand, which is just under $200 total. Now, I want to detail everything that went on with benchmarking this thing after you guys spend a little while seeing what we had to do in order to get this GTX 970 and this hard drive to fit in this freaking thing, because it was a mission. Oh hey, there's like cable management routing at the back. Nice, Acer. Too bad we're gonna get rid of it, because I need to put my own power supply in here, but well thought out. That's tight, bro. Okay, so now it's time to take out the power supply. That's good, Jaw. Take out the power supply now. I don't know what accent I'm doing. It's like a really weird mix of German and nonsense. This is routed pretty intensely here. Like, these cables are actually managed, which is strange. I'm so baffled by this. I actually kind of love this case. Get off of my screwdriver. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, Sammy. You can do it! All right. Yeah, so now we just need to route this through the cable management little punks, and we should be good to go. Now we can take this sucker right on out. Yeah! That's a tight squeeze. Number 4, gone. Let's pop you out. Oh, there's, what? There's, well, oh, I unscrewed the wrong thing. Okay, strange. I unscrewed the top section? That comes off? What? All right, there goes the power supply, I think. Ow, Reece.
That was you.
That's a camera. There it is. All of those cables Now where do you come off? There you go. Oh.
My dude.
I just punched the camera.
Arms are wild today.
Hopefully I can fit it like this so that the fan can get some breathing. The issue that we ran into with our $300 build is that the screw mounts didn't line up, but it looks like this one does. So we should be able to allow this thing to breathe, which is great. SATA and Molex nonsense. Do we have another SATA setup? We do, so I can send one SATA to the hard drive and then one SATA to the disk drive, because we all know we want disk drives in today's day and age, especially with digital media being so wonky these days. Going in 24 pin. I believed in you since you were a wee little pup. Wait, we have 2 of these? Nice. Let's get rid of you, and then let's put this one right here. Okay, now it's time to take this thing off. Oh, that doesn't work like that. It's too late, I'll tell you that.
I saw something fly.
Not my problem right now. Graphics card, where are you? You have space, and you go. Not right there. No! You're too big! I knew we would run into an issue somewhere. All right, so that means we need to bust out our handy little destruction kit. Oh boy, this one's gonna be pretty rough. So we can stick the hard drive up here, and then we have to get rid of the hard drive cage down here. So below this slot, and that's firmly in there. It's riveted in really well. So I could drill out the rivets and then take it out. Fine, I'll go get the drill. This is not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. I got the drill. Fair warning, never drilled out divots before, rivets, whatever they're called. And you know, we're gonna take a shot at this. Yeah, look, like that. So best practices obviously would be to take everything out of the case first, but not really my style. So, safety goggles on. Probably the wrong drill bit too. That hasn't even pierced the case. Fantastic. Not too hot, but the freaking thing's stuck on here. Those 2 are done. Yep, that's freely moving. Now there's this one on the back side right here. Get off my drill bit. And just 2 more on the inside. The most sensitive place. Hopefully none of the metal shavings are actually getting on the motherboard. I don't have the proper angle on this. Is there another? Oh, there's another one on the inside. Dang it. You suck. Done. Just 2 more. Caught it. Not good ideas. This one sucks. Did it. 1 more. And hopefully nothing's broken. No guarantees though. I don't know how I'm gonna get that one. Right now, we've actually taken care of a good chunk of this. Just that last rivet at the back is our nemesis currently. Let's see if I can do this without needing another drill scream. Sharp metal, bare hands, emergency room right across the street, and go. Got it, done. Shake any metal shavings out. This is the best $200 build I've ever done. Wait, did we lose or did it not have it? Ow, oh, did you hear that? Oh, ow, I'm old. I don't move like this anymore. Okay, where's the foot? Was it always missing it? I don't see a foot anywhere. Haha. Let's get back to building this sucker. Oh man.
Catch your breath.
That wore me out, man. Gigantic pain in my rear, literally. And it fits, baby. Okay, so now you see I got it to fit. This hard drive is mounted here on the front. After I riveted out or de-riveted all of the hard drive cage that was in here, I actually ended up using the rubber grommets that came on the sliders to screw in the hard drive from the side. So it's actually pretty sturdily mounted in here. Kind of flat, should be fine for the hard drive for the most part. It was the only way to fit the graphics card and the hard drive in at the same time, but it just works, my friends. Once you have a little bit of ingenuity and an iFixit screwdriver as well as a drill, you can take care of any graphics card situation that you might run into. You can build a $200 system with the GTX 970. And after benchmarking it, it became clear to me that a 970 is overkill. This should not have been a $200 build. This should have been a $150 build or $125 because that original i5, the i5 650, just cannot keep up with any modern game right now. The 970 bounced between 40 to 60% utilization the entire time, while that i5 was pegged at 100% for the most part. So if we take a look at the benchmarks that you're seeing on the screen right now, it's not horrible. You get at 1080p low settings, which I'll grant you is not super ideal. We managed between 30 to 50 FPS in most modern games. So this is like all of the new games that have come out. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 34 FPS. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, 30 FPS. Far Cry New Dawn, 36 FPS. Metro Exodus, 35 FPS. That's at 1080p. You can actually play that game. Apex Legends averaged well over 60, 65 FPS. Battlefield 5 was 41. Resident Evil 2, surprisingly, was 57 FPS at low, and then Far Cry 5 was 42.2 FPS. And then I did a Time Spy run just because, and those scores are pretty abominable. So as the benchmarks indicate, it's not the greatest system, especially when you compare it even to the previous i5 3000 series with just 4 gigs of RAM. That thing stomped all over it with it also being at 1080p medium settings. This at 1080p low just continues to struggle with its Aunt Gretel and fighting over whose favorite recipe is. Anyways, the 970 in this thing is also a little bit worse than the Hall of Fame. That had 3 fans. This one only has 2. The Strix doesn't seem to have held up as well over the years compared to the Hall of Fame. We even, obviously, we changed out the thermal paste on it, and the thermals definitely put it in the 75 to 80 degree region on a regular basis, even with brand new thermal paste. So not everything about this system is as I wanted it to be. A $200 system, you can play every modern game that you could possibly want. You throw in things like League of Legends and this thing will sneeze all over it like it doesn't even matter. It's like a little piece of pollen it can just get rid of out of its system. Very simple to play games like that. CSGO shouldn't be too much of a problem. The 3.3 gigahertz core clock on the processor, 2 cores, should be more than enough to get really playable frame rates. Obviously it's not competitive or anything, but you can play CSGO, MOBAs, all that kind of stuff. Apex Legends over 60 FPS, so that should be good. Fortnite should be whatever, but PUBG would probably annihilate this system unless you played mobile on the computer through the emulator that they have. Anyways, neither here nor there. It's a great little esports machine for $200. It is a sufficient brand new gaming PC if you're looking to play things like Resident Evil or Battlefield. You can get by with something like this, especially if you're willing to endure more quality drops. If you drop it to 720p, the CPU should have an easier time rendering a few of the resolutions, make it a little bit better so that there's more load on the GPU, because this 970 still had a heckin' lot of headroom to go. So that could potentially be something that would allow you to get better FPS out of this. But overall, mostly a mistake. That 970 was way too much for the system. And honestly, with this $200 computer, I spent too much money. That's the conclusion that I can come to here. But I'm not a veteran, used PC builder like Zach's Tech Turf or Tech Yes City. I'm just starting to figure out the used scene here in South Africa, and so I got things to learn. First gen i5 plus 970, waste of time. I wasn't even alive when the first gen i5 came out. I was nary a thought back when the first gen i5s came out. So yeah, my experience with building used PCs this far back, something that I will have to improve upon. But there are added features with this thing that definitely make the $200 price point really good. You got those 4 USBs up front. You get a DVD reader. This is a burner. Multi-recorder, you can burn stuff. And it has a full suite right here to for you to access cards and whatnot. So you can edit YouTube videos on this. I really would not recommend that with that 2 cores and 4 threads. But overall, I'm slightly happy with the system. The power supply, the CPU, the RAM, and the hard drive in the case, all sufficient. Graphics card, kind of pathetic, my bad. I will fix that. Let me know if you guys want me to do an updated video where I throw in a GTX 960 to see what we can get for like $150. Keen to hear if you guys want me to continue this budget used series of what I can get here in SA. Down below in the comments, I want to hear what you guys have to think of everything that we've been pulling off with this kind of stuff. Anyways, don't forget that this video is brought to you by, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is sponsored by Wix. My friends, if you haven't heard of Wix, where have you been? It's the super simple, easy way to build a website. Everything's drag and drop, easy to place. It makes sure that you, even if you have no technical knowledge, you can build whatever website that you want for whatever purposes that you want, either personal, professional. It's all right there. You can set it up so that you can sell things on your website. It's literally drag and drop, click and place, and even somebody technically knowledgeable like myself, I just like building websites like this because it saves you so much time and effort that you don't have to figure out what goes where. You just simply place an image, there you go. As you guys can see right on the screen right now, I built a little holder website for us as we're currently in the middle of buying out a new domain, and we'll be having a company website that's gonna go on Wix once we actually get the domain sorted. But as you can see, it's so easy. I just place a quote. I just make sure that I have all of these horrible images of me right there because Wix.com might be very easy for you to build a website, but that doesn't mean that they can actually make you look any better, unfortunately. But once I get it all set up, it's as easy as hitting publish. You can set it up with the domain that they give you, or as I mentioned, we're waiting on getting a domain, and it's as simple as entering your domain and then your website can be published with Wix. It's honestly, it's less than a 30-minute process to get a fully functioning website set up with everything that you need, a contact us form, all of the images that you want to show up. As long as you have the content in mind, Wix has the tools to make sure that you can get it done. Honestly, one of the best tool belts that you could probably have when it comes to website building out there on the internet. So if you're interested in getting your own website set up, you should go to wix.com/go/UFD Tech. Link for that will be in the video description so that you can get started today with building a website for whatever purposes you have, whether it's to show off your portfolio like my good friend Reece behind the camera with all of his fancy camera work, or if you just want to make one for your pets, or you actually want to sell things for a business. Any way you want to do it, wix.com/go/UFD Tech. Check them out. Big thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Then hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see your smiling faces as well as the smiling graphics card system builds in the next video. Love you too.